Dozens of protesters in Indonesia's Papua continue to occupy the governor's office after violent protests rocked Jayapura. Several government buildings in the provincial capital were torched on Thursday as thousands took part in anti-racism rallies. Mackenzie Smith reports.
On Thursday, just a day after clashing police and protesters in West Papua killed 3, the region's biggest city burned. Several government buildings, including the parliament, were set ablaze, the latest in unrest taking place across Papua for the past 2 weeks. Witnesses and state media say police fired tear gas at demonstrators who were rallying for an independence vote and an end to racism. Thursday's rally ended with protesters camping outside Papua Governor Lukas Nmba's office. Among them was the spokesperson for the pro-independence West Papua National Committee, Victor Yamor.
People of West Papua, they occupy the office of the governor of Papua, and people of West Papua, they demand referendum for independence.
Indonesia has struggled to contain what experts say are the largest protests to take place in Papua. Since last week, the government has blocked internet across the region to stop misinformation, and some phone lines have been disrupted too. That's made verifying the facts difficult, especially in Dayai Regency, where activists claim at least 6 protesters died in a clash with police on Wednesday. The government disputes this, saying only 2 protesters and a soldier died. A West Papuan activist in Jayapura, Rosa Moiwand, says security forces have been violent when dealing with protesters.
They shot the tear gas to us, and I managed to escape before the second attack. And then many of our friends, the marchers, last night they stay there, fully disciplined, stay and not responding to the police.
Papuan news outlet tabloid Jubi reports 15 demonstrators were shot by rubber bullets in Jayapura on Thursday. Ms. Moiwand says a heightened security presence is angering protesters. But struggling to contain the demonstrations, Jakarta flew in 600 extra soldiers to the city overnight. The state news agency Antara reports the deployment came as President Joko Widodo appealed for calm. An Indonesian researcher at the Mathenis Academy in Jakarta, Hippolytus Wangge, says the unrest in Papua is unprecedented.
This is really something new. Over 57 years, there is no such protest like this. This is really massive in terms of the numbers and in terms of the pattern of violence.
Mr. Wangge says the government's response shows it hasn't worked out how to solve the issue of Papua. But in a move likely to curry favour with some demonstrators, on Thursday police slapped travel bans on 7 people who hurled racist insults at Papuan students. The incident, which took place in the Javanese city of Surabaya earlier this month, is viewed as the catalyst for the protests. For Checkpoint, Mackenzie Smith.